the Commission opened an own accord investigation, just like Commissioner Pinana had alluded. That's when we took it upon ourselves to specifically focus on the scholar transport packages, which were coming in numbers. So from these schools, or rather the schools that we visited for the scholar transport issues, we noted that even though some of the buses were in a good condition, there were other issues in relation to learners arriving to school on time, overcrowding, the safety of the learners, as most of the schools inform that there are no teachers who are supervising the learners when they are traveling from the school to their homes and vice versa. Furthermore, we note that some of the scholar transport buses are not roadworthy, and these are the issues that now cause a very serious concern to the safety of our learners when they're traveling to school. Further, we note that the condition of the buses tend to break down during transit for the learners. So most children, they do not come to school because the bus has broken down. Some of them in school, and it creates learning barrier as they are missing essential lessons at the school by not being at the school. We note that there are issues relating to route of the buses. There are learners who are left out of the scholar transport program because they are not living within the route of certain buses, and that these buses sometimes do not collect from one school, but they collect from other schools, which causes overcrowding, arriving late to school, or some children not being picked up at all. So it is based on these issues that the Commission is doing this inquiry to find answers as to how can these learners be included, and if there are any issues that need to be addressed immediately so that all of these learners can receive the education that they so deserve. Thank you.
We can move over to evidence leader, Mr. Nkomo. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you as well, Liano, for the brief summary. Commissioner, according to my program, we are going to have a presentation from Mr. Dezuka. I'm not sure if he's ready to take a stand.
Mr. Albert Dezuka, please stand. Is it an oath or an affirmation? An oath. You're not audible. Thank you. Please state your full name for the record.
Winsley Albert Dezuka.
Please state your age.
I'm 59 years old.
Do you have any objection in taking the prescribed oath?
No objection.
Do you consider the said oath to be binding on your conscience?
Yes.
Do you swear that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, nothing but the truth? If that is so, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you so much. You may take a seat. Over to you, Mr. Nkomo.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Dezuka, would you like to be addressed as Mr. Dezuka?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Dezuka, we will hear your presentation that you sent to us. Mr. Dezuka's presentation is found on page 9 of our bundle. Commissioner and Ms. Long. So Mr. Dazuka, your presentation will be 30 minutes, and then I will give the floor to you. Thereafter, I will ask you a few questions just to clarify some of the aspects that you've highlighted on the complaint. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Human Rights Commission, the media team, and everybody in the house. As I already mentioned my name, I'm going to share with you the experience I had during the rally of the scholar transport we've done around Nakamudi Mohema, mostly in the areas of the farms where the scholar transport is provided. What I have experienced, there are numerous aspects, starting from number one. I have experienced the unlicensed buses, of which most of them are dilapidated. Some with broken windows and others smelling fuel that were used to carry the learners from their home farms to the schools. Most of the buses drivers were not vetted, meaning that those drivers were not checked whether they have taken the oath of reliability to transport the learners. The other issue was the backup transport for the buses, whereby when the bus is broken, the entire area whereby the bus is collecting the learners to school, the learners are not going to attend school on that day. I have experienced that issue also in Joying municipality, whereby also the parents, when the other bus is broken, the parents are avoiding the other bus to take the children to school, meaning that all both the buses are not allowed to take the learners to school because the other one is broken. Majority of the buses don't have supervisions. There are no SGBs provided to travel with the learners inside the buses. Only at the schools or at the villages, at their homes where they climb the buses, the parents, they can monitor, or at the school when they climb off. But during the traveling session from home to school, the kids are not supervised inside the bus. And others are very small learners, starting from grade R learners who are very small that can easily climb on the seat of the buses and jump out of the window. There are no buses provided for learners that take extra lessons. All the learners taking extra lessons, when the school is off, when the time of the bus came, they must all climb the bus and leave for their homes, because if they are not taken inside the bus, they will not get the transport to take them back to their homes. There was another incident I experienced whilst I was in Bushbury Combined School, whereby during break, I saw two girls sweeping the bus. So that one was the challenge of if maybe the learners, it's their responsibility to clean their own buses, or the providers of the buses are the ones who must clean their own buses. The other issue is the issue of overloading. Most of the learners or the schools I've come across with during my ground inspection, there is overloading of learners inside the buses, whereby some other buses, they don't just transport learners from one school, they share from maybe 2 to 3 other schools, they use one bus, all of them, starting from grade R to high school level. Uh, the, there was another incident we saw of the unlicensed, it was the unlicensed buses, the worn out seats, the worn out seats in the buses, whereby it shows that the buses were not properly cleaned. And the last one was whereby I experienced that the grade R learners will have to leave their homes very early so that they must travel to their schools. And only one meal is supplied to them at school, but they will have to wait since they travel from their homes from as early as past 5 in the morning up until 4 o'clock p.m., but being served only one meal at school, I think.
Thank you, Mr. Tezuka, for a beautiful presentation. I will be asking you a few questions to help our panel establish the effects in your presentation. My first question would be, you made mention of the school in your community. Perhaps I didn't get the name of the school. Could you please tell me what the name of the school is?
Pardon?
The name of the school.
Where?
You made, in your submission, you talked about a school where buses would have broken windows, and then there was an incident where you found learners cleaning the bus.
It was in Boschburg.
What is the name of the school?
It's Boschburg Primary School.
Okay. Thank you so much. You also mentioned the issue of vetting in your presentation. How did you establish it?
I was asking directly on the principal whether all the drivers that are providing the transport were vetted. And then all the principals are asked, they said they must not be vetted.
Is it the same school, or you asked multiple?
Multiple schools.
Okay, thank you so much. My other question then would be, what do you think are major causes of scholar transport challenges in the Northwest Province?
The major challenge on the Northwest will be combining the minor learners with the elder learners on one transport, the using of old buses to transport the learners, because majority of them, they are not looking like the old model buses. It's like all the providers, they are using the old model buses for learners.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tezuka. I have another question, and it would be, what would you propose to be done to address these challenges?
What I would advise to be done is that before the service provider is given the task of transporting the learners, all the necessary groundwork must be done.
And what would that be?
Would that be vetting, having the supervision inside the transport, checking whether every time whether the buses are in a right state of transporting learners without broken windows in case of rainfalls and during the winter seasons.
All right, thank you. Please take us through or explain the demographics of the communities mostly affected by these scholar transport challenges.
Yeah, on this incident, it was the principal who explained while I was asking the question, what happens when the bus is broken? Then he explained that when another one bus is broken, once the bus is transporting that school, it was having some number of 200 and something learners transported by the buses from three various villages to the school. The principal explained when one bus is broken, then the community is standing by why other learners are supposed to go to school while the others are not going to school because the other bus is broken and the provider don't have the backup bus.
Okay, Mr. Dazuka. You also made mention of an incident, and it's found on page 9 of your submission, PM and Commissioner. You made mention of a case where windows are broken and not fixed. Would you perhaps clarify how long this kind of situation remained unattended?
Once I was inspecting those buses and taking pictures, I did get back to the principal and ask questions, of which the principal himself was not aware whether the buses windows were broken and there are worn-out seats whereby the learners are supposed to sit.
All right. So please tell me, how far do these learners stay from school?
Other buses, they are traveling something like 10 kilometers, others to the maximum of 30 kilometers from whereby the school is situated in their farms to their respective homes.
All right. Another incident that you made mention of in your submission is at Bosch School, and you talked about learners or girls that you found cleaning the bus. Could you kindly clarify or tell us what further steps you took to address that issue?
The first question I asked was to the driver because he was in the surrounding, and the driver didn't give the good explanation to me whether why the girls were cleaning their own buses. He only told me they just participated to do so.
All right, Dr. Kazuka. My last question then in this case would be, you mentioned the issue of overcrowding in buses. Could you kindly provide us with an estimation of the total or perhaps estimation of the learners that would be overcrowded in a particular bus?
In a particular bus, they were saying the overcrowding is close to 20 or 30 extra learners in the bus, and there was nothing they can do about it because they felt like they cannot leave other learners behind while others are attending school.
Okay, a follow-up question. Who told you that there is nothing that they can do about it?
It was the principal of the school because most of the questions I was asking directly from the principal.
And perhaps could you tell us if it's the same school in Bosch?
There were other schools like Eight Short School, and the other school was in the Khachani. Something like that. I will check.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dazuka. No further questions, Commissioner. I'm not sure if colleagues have any other questions that they would like to ask. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lukoma. Colleagues, Mr. Conte.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Commissioner. Thank you very much, Mr. Dazuka. I have one or two questions for you. Can you go to that document, that file that is next to you there? Can you open it? Yes. Can you go to page 151? Are you there?
Yes, I'm in page 50.
I'm asking you this question. I don't mean to undermine you. Can you read English?
Yes.
Can you introduce who wrote this letter and to who? There's two: Scholar Transport Service Provider, if I may help you, and then the letter is addressed by Dr. Hans Gegana, Head of Department. Is that the letter, right? Page 151. Sorry, page 151.
Yes. I can see it.
Do you see what the subject says?
Provision of subsidized learner transport service for qualifying and approved learners to and from school in 4 district municipalities within the Northwest Province.
Okay, now there's also a written subject: vehicle inspection. Do you see that? Just under 11 December 2024.
Subject vehicle inspection invitation,
What is the date on the document?
11 December 2024.
That's last year, right?
Yes.
Okay. Go to clause number 3. Or number 3.
Clause 3.11.1 of the SLA states that the vehicle used to transport learners must at all times during the contract period be in a roadworthy condition. The operator shall object to the vehicle to a roadworthy task center designed by the department every 6 months during the term of the contract.
Okay, now let's come to my question. From your observation, I'm just laying foundation. This question will go to the department later. You said there are vehicles that are not roadworthy. Did I get you correctly?
Yes.
Okay. From your observation, do you think the problem happened within a 6 months period, or the buses or the transport looks older, or the problems looks older than 6 months?
I did submit the photos of the buses license disc, but the 1 to 2 of them that were expired were not more than 6 months.
Okay, thank you very much. I get that part. When you are saying unroadworthy, the condition of the bus, the body of the bus, does it look like it has been inspected in the past 6 months? From your observation?
From my observation, no.
Why do you say that? Expatiate.
Because on my experience, I did mention that most of the buses used to transport the learners were dilapidated. They were old model buses. Even by the look of your eyes, you will see that these are not the new model buses that can be used to travel.
I'm laying foundation for a question I will ask to Mr. Hans. You said there were broken windows.
Yes.
Did you perhaps request from the principals documents that speaks to this inspection in this paragraph?
No.
Okay. Thank you very much. Now, let's move on. You said there's a mixture of learners from primary to high school.
Yes.
Take Commissioner or take the chairperson through your confidence on this aspect. If it's 50 people on the bus and the bus is having 50 people, what is the impact then? Because it's just 50 people. There's no problem. I don't see a problem.
According to me, as I just mentioned, there were no supervisions done inside the bus from home to school. So there is this bullying issue on schools. So if you combine the minor learners and the elder learners, there is going to be a problem in the bus.
Okay, that's what I wanted to find out from you. Did you then receive any issues, or were you informed during your inspections of any issues of bullying
In several schools.
in several schools?
Yes.
I want to jog your memory for the purpose of record, because we must be careful to generalize, not to generalize. If you can remember those schools, can you do that for us? No, it's fine. If you have your documents, are they here?
Yes.
Would you be able to can I request Mr. Mluleki? Can you please get his documents? Because I want us to be detailed in our sitting. Yes, I want us to be detailed in our submissions, because generalizing is very dangerous.
Yes.
And if for some reason you can't find it there, with all, I would ask indulgence from Commissioner that you make a written submission to augment these issues. I also heard you talking about pictures. Can you also provide us post this time? Because in your submission that you gave us, we do not have those pictures. Can you compile that and submit for the purpose of the assessment of everything that was submitted here?
Yes, okay.
Yes, can you give us the names of the schools where issues of bullying were raised?
The first school I see here with the bullying incidents is Maliboho Primary School.
Do you remember where that district is? Where is the district it is?
Maliboho Primary School. Principals Moses Mulwa. It's not appearing here. I think it's in Joy.
Okay. Okay, I would ask you to do another school. Can you list all of them?
The other school is Vitaupo Secondary School.
Do you have a spelling for that name?
Boitha OPO Vitaupo Secondary School.
Okay.
The principal is Tsotlego Philip Peko.
Okay. Are those the only two schools?
No.
Okay.
The other school is Lebohang Primary.
Okay.
Lebohang Primary principal is Nelson Pieramabu.
Okay. Now,
So several schools with bullying.
okay. Can I request that you document, you make a further submission and give us those details in a written submission? The commissioner will determine as to when that submission will be required. Now, I'm going to page 69 in the invitation for this particular submission that you made. In your own opinion, and your observations, in particular observation, your opinion, I don't think it's the right way to use. In your own observations, do you think the quality of the service, what do you think of the quality that is offered? Is it quality service? Is it value for money? Do these children deserve the service that they are getting?
My answer will be 50% because most of the service provided in the farm schools is not the same as the services provided in the urban schools or modern schools.
Okay. Explain the difference.
The difference is that you will find new buses in like civilized areas, urban areas. You find new buses back there. You will investigate them, inspect them, check them. You will find nothing wrong with them. And also, it is controlled. Bullying also is controlled. There is inspection in schools. But those in the farms, there's no such.
You've explained the condition that is good in the farms then. You give an explanation of what you observed and give us an explanation as to why do you think the farm schools are getting a lesser service than the urban schools?
There can only be one reason because they believe they are far from inspection.
Okay. I think I will leave it there and give it to, I think my colleague has questions.
Can you proceed?
Thank you, Chair. I only have one question. Mr. Dazuka, in your presentation, you were asked how you came to know the information about the schools and the buses not being vetted. You mentioned that you had engagements with the school principal.
Yes.
In your engagements with the school principal, did he mention that he had been reporting these issues to the department? Has he ever mentioned that these issues were reported to the department? If so, what was the outcome?
I only remember there was a principal who said he requested from the department so that issue of dating was being brought.
So was it just one principal who had mentioned that they
Only one principal who had mentioned.
what is the name of at which school is this and what is the name of the principal?
If I can go through my documents, I will tell you which school because I was inspecting so many schools moving from this one to this one.
Thank
But
you.
I've recorded. I've got the records for you.
Thank you, Mr. Dazuka. As Mr. Akonde has requested, please provide the information in your submissions post this inquiry. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Tebe. Is that all from your side for him?
Yes, Commissioner, that's all. Perhaps through you, he can indicate when we can have the information as required by the colleagues.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Dazuka, how long do you require in order to provide the information?
Can provide it today after hours. I can submit it. I could compile them and send it.
Shall we then give you until tomorrow by 12 in the afternoon?
It's okay.
If you're able to provide it earlier, that would be fine because it's going to assist even tomorrow when we assist with the other group. that is also going to be dealing with this issue. So from your side, is there anything further that you feel has not been asked of you by the colleagues that you still want to allude to?
No, there is nothing.
Thank you so much. PM, do you perhaps have questions from your side? Thank you.
It's just a follow-up, Mr. Dazuka, on the issue that you've raised regarding the lack of scholar transport provision for learners who take extra classes. So from your engagement with the school principals, in their assessment, how is this impacting the educational outcomes of these learners? One. And two, what measures are the schools taking to kind of close the gap for the learners who are not able to have extra classes after school? So that's just the first follow-up, and I'll ask the second one next.
Yeah, let me go straight to that first one. There are two schools we communicated with the principal. Those learners who could not take extra classes, they were organizing the camps for those learners to spend some time, a week or two, sleeping in school. They provide everything for the learners. Then after a certain time, then the learners can again go back to their rooms.
And lastly, for me, is the issue raised around vetting. But in that vetting, you were not specific in terms of the vetting issues that you believe were not done for the drivers of the vehicles. Perhaps you can elaborate on that, and also maybe indicate whether there was an engagement with the schools regarding the vetting of the drivers to ensure that they're not on the sexual offences register and that they are actually fit to be engaging and interacting with learners, particularly in view of your evidence to say that there are learners as young as from grade R, right? So if you can just elaborate on that, and maybe linked to that question is the issue that you've raised around mixing. Your main concern was bullying, but I can even see in those circumstances where learners of that young age, are vulnerable to abuse, even sexual violence, but particularly when there is no supervision. So are those discussions or concerns that have come up over and above the concerns around bullying when you mix learners of such diverse age groups in one transportation? Thanks.
Thank you very much. The major concern was checking on whether the drivers were vetted for sexual offences, but my opinion was much based on scholar transport if the buses were roadworthy to transport the children. But I was just checking on other issues like vetting and other stuff.
Thank you, Provincial Manager. Maybe let's just go to the issue regarding the roadworthiness of these vehicles. So, except for what you have observed with your own eyes with regard to whether these vehicles are roadworthy, were you able to maybe source a document which would have been provided by the drivers to say their vehicles are indeed roadworthy.
There was an incident in, I think those buses were, whereby the bus disc was expired, and when asking the driver, he was bringing some documents saying that it's a proof that the bus is route waiting, still waiting for what, for the disc to come or something like that. So that is where I ended, because I was not much interrogating of whether it was just taking the pictures of the expired disc, and I kept it there. I think I still have my photos.
And say for beaches, you perhaps also have pictures of how these vehicles are made up of inside, because you alluded to the fact that they would have had torn seats, or just the condition inside the vehicle would not be in order. So do you perhaps have photographs with regard to that condition?
Yes, I have photographs for all of them.
Now, this would be inside, outside the vehicles as well.
Outside this one.
You also alluded to the fact that the communities will be up in arms if only one vehicle is available for scholar transport, and you would then deny the learners to go to school, even those that would have been in the other transport that is able to ferry them to school. That information, what sort of, except for your word of mouth, how is one going to be able to verify that information?
That is the information I was given by the principal when asking questions.
So are you also able to tell us the exact incidences of, say, the dates and the respective schools?
I can give the details of the respective schools, the principal. I think the date of the incident is only the principal who can tell us.
And you've also alluded to the fact that there isn't supervision inside these scholar transport from the principals that you're able to engage. What is their reasoning for not providing safe?
The principals were saying the SGBs were just only managing to supervise the kids when they climb off the bus at the gate of the school, and when they climb back to their homes. So it's only in one school instance whereby I get the answer that one SGB is traveling with the bus from school to the village, because the SGB is also living there.
In terms of accessibility of the scholar transport to ferry the learners from their respective schools, do you know what is the condition with regard to the routes where they travel in order for them to get to the transport? Is it safe? Is it long distance? Is it not? Do you know of that situation, or is it something that you did not consider?
That is the situation that I did not consider. If the routes were potholes or the condition where the buses travel, I didn't consider.
Not so much where the transport itself is driving on, I'm talking about from the home of their respective children in order for them to go to the bus stop.
I didn't ask about. I didn't ask about. I was just hoping, as parents, if we have a learner who's using a scholar transport, you just make the safety for the learner from home to the bus.
So that is left to the parents for the guidance.
I was asking one principal about it. He said that one also he didn't consider because from home to the bus, the parents must take part.
Right, so thank you so much once more, Dr. Zuka, but maybe let me just find out from the team if there's any follow-up questions from the questions that I've asked. Mr. Konde, let me start with you. Anything from your side? Nothing further? Thank you so much, Ms. Tebe. Thank you so much, the lead Evans leader. Thank you so much from Shall Manager. Shall we then excuse Mr. Mizuka? So in this case, we're going to excuse you, but remember, you've got an obligation to ensure that you give us more information. As promised, at least by tomorrow, 12 o'clock, that information must be furnished to Mr. Fonda and his team, so that this information can also be part of our evidence compilation of this investigation report. So thank you so much. You are excused.
Thank you.
Mr. Nipoma?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Dasuka, for your brief presentation. Chair, according to my program, it says that we are supposed to have a tea break. I'm not sure if we should continue with the program or we should have a tea break and then we will reconvene after. It is now 26 minutes past 10, so you will.
It looks like we are on time, but we do have 30 minutes. I'll say let's use it optimally. Let's call the next presenter. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. On that basis, then we will call upon Mokosi Daniel Motelesi. Okay, Chair, there's an indication that Mokosi Daniel Motelesi is not here yet. So we will therefore have to call the next speaker, and that will be that.
New notification from wireless. Wireless. Private dot one of one window. Secure desktop.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ufenza Khatati. Please state your full names for the record.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Windows default lock screen window. Lock screen.
Lina ke offense haitati.
And do you have any qualms with taking an oath, or is it an affirmation?
I do not have. I can take the oath, Commissioner.
Thank you so much. Your age,
54.
do you have any objection in taking the prescribed oath?
I do not have. I can take it.
Do you regard it as binding on your conscience?
I do.
Do you swear that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, nothing but the truth? If there is so, please raise your right hand and say, so help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you so much. You will take a seat.
Thank you.
Mr. Nkomo, your witness.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning once again, Mr. Haitati.
Good morning.
Mr. Haitati is found from page 11 to page 33. Mr. Haitati, you made a submission to us on the basis of scholar transport challenges that we're facing in the Northwest Province. I'm going to give you 30 minutes so that you can highlight the contents of your presentation or your submission. And thereafter, we will just ask a few questions to clarify your submission. Thanks, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So I do have the stage. Or
Yes, you may proceed.
Commissioner, I'm gonna need help to know what is happening in front of me. There are mics and there are all kinds of gadgets. May I begin by saying I do have a visual impairment. Hence, I need to know what is happening and I will be using my laptop. My laptop is something that is called a screen reader. A screen reader is used by people with visual impairment to be able to write on the computer and to tell them and read documents for them. So that is what I'm going to be using. I specifically requested that I should not use the earphone because the people attending the commissions, they need to appreciate the fact that people who are differently able or having a disability, these are the kind of facilities they use. So it must not be a hindrance to them, but an appreciation of what we're going to be doing. So if I might just get help in knowing what is in front of me, where are the mics and what is happening, Commission, it will be of great help.
They have just assisted you, Mr. Kaitaki, by putting the mic more closer to you. And I believe your laptop is going to be also brought closer.
Okay. Then to be seen. Okay. Keyboard is here. Here. No, I don't know the keyboard is. I mean the keyboard like this.
So you've got a mic that you will be using.
Okay, ma'am.
And there's also two other mics from the media houses
Okay.
that are also next to you. But your laptop is more to your right.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Media player.
Let me just one minute. Let me just get my submission.
Scholar transport presentation. Scholar transport presentation.
I should be ready.
You can proceed when you're ready.
So I proceed by doing the submission and then take it from there afterwards.
Yes, Mr. Lekoma is also going to then direct you,
Okay, ma'am.
but you can start with your presentation as requested.
The Honorable Commissioner, the team, the members in attendance, good morning. I'm feeling a burden of responsibility with this submission. I consider myself one of the leading advocates of people with disability. A proper term, please, let's not change it. It's a person with disability, because if you say I'm a disabled person, you are seeing a disability first before you see a person. Proper term, I am a person with disability. Please, let's make sure that we get all these things right. My submission, I served as a member of SGB for about 2 years in ruling Sidibelo Secondary School. The submission I'm doing is a submission of experiences which I've experienced. When I'm doing this submission, I'll be using words like, I saw this, I saw this, I saw this thing. This is my version of my submission. When I say I've seen this thing, when we are serving as a team and the team sees something, I believe they are also seeing that on my behalf. So instead of I feel this thing or I perceive this thing, I'll be using the word I saw this, I saw this, I saw this. I thought I must just do those submissions before we begin commissioning. My submission. There was a video that was trending around 2020, this after the COVID, 2022. I believe it was a video of learners in Sidibelo. There was an incident where a transporter was stopped, 40 learners from Sidibelo got off a 15-seater taxi. We as the SGB, we were passionate, we were incensed and all types of things. Can't clear this incident. This is some of the reasons why this incident in the Isare. Before I went to university, I've also driven a taxi. I've also transported people. 40 learners in a 15-seater means there are 5 seats and there's minimally 8 learners per seat. The incident was so bad because the driver who was driving the vehicle, one of the female learners was sitting on their lap. There was probably 5 people in the front seat. This is the type of overloading which is happening in our area. This is the major reason why it is necessary, and I'm feeling duty bound with a submission. When you have driven a taxi and you understand how it is overloaded, it's easier to drive and go around. Highly fully laden, 15 passengers, there are challenges in controlling them. My submission to the commission is 40 people. One of the learners sitting in there. Even if something was to happen, a reason or a way for a driver can apply an emergency brake quick enough. It doesn't hire that type of a risk. Meaning, high level this incident, high declaring as not only a mission, I'm looking for the word. A suicide mission is an attempted mass murderer, or it's an attempt to mass murder. Because if 40 learners were to pass off, for all that is holy, it is a whole classroom. 40 learners passing off, it's like the incidents historically pick up when a fully laden bus, or things like that. This is some of the things they already experience in our area. I have some understanding of why some of these things are happening. My presentation take one, the overloading the learners transport. Number 2, presentation the loud music in the taxis. Number 3 presentation aka e tlo go attempt to address what I believe the SGB is tshwantseng ya be se dira, the government is tshwantseng ya se dira, the Department of Transport is supposed to be doing, and why the authorized transporters needs to stand up and be part of the solution. When I go through the submission in the next few minutes. So submissions, the summary of my submission will be based on those things. Commissioner, I need to keep on
10:39.
watch this thing. 10:59. By the way, 30 minutes is up for what time? It's about 10:59. I just need to make sure on time.
10:39.
We will have to break at 11 because we need
10. Okay.
to take an interview. So, but you've got until 11. And even if you do not finish, we'll be able to come back to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Blank. 1 intro and procedure. 2 case study. 4
Eh,
learners overload.
ke buile ka learners overloading ke batla go dira a submission ka the loud music on the learners. The problem ya go address loud music on the learners is because Haruna SSGB rea out for the boss berat. The teachers and the SGB by being part of this going out, they love loud music. It's a fact. Ha honali Margaret Arco primary school sin gore ba transportiwa gore ba go graduate somewhere fantastic. But when there's a coming back, the parents ba batla gore ba transportiwe ka dikoloi that has the loudest music. So the teachers love loud music. We, the parents, are passionate about that, but re batla gore re khalemele loud music in the learners. Submission yaka e bontsha some of the medical evidence e bontsha the damage loud music can have. It mentioned a few medical conditions that can diragalang. To the teachers, to the parents, it might not be much of an issue because it's a once-off thing. But to the learners, some of them travel about 45 minutes on a daily basis, exposed to that type of a loud music. I believe it's something saying Haruna batsadi risa emele, we will be failing in our duty. Bana ba e leng gore they've been entrusted upon us. Ga re a ba direla sentle ka go khalemela the loud music ke dilo tse di kileng ra di experience on a daily basis.
3 blank. 4 key issues in scholar transfer.
Ha ya go di scholar transport issues, we mentioned something about overloading.
5, 6 blank.
Ke buile ka the loud music, ke batla go insist le gore the SGB have participate enough in this type of an issue. A case in point, Renara Kreya a call from the school district manager. I realized for guys, I have a problem. I phone the principal of Osidibe. For the problem, the principal the parents came and said, Mr. Inspector, Rekoba Uchipe, your principal away. Give a second year, Banabasa good results. Runa as parents, Harasa matter. Whatever you do with them, is a habit. So the second manager unapopa for anti UCDB. Case here, it might not be appropriate, but able the passion in Habatsadi by a ma, but not responsible for the school. What is it that they can do? But that Habaya school Sinusina, give boneva monitoring uniform Yabana, give boneva monitoring the hairstyles Abba. Honali a tendency the learners by all Taramaruke, the boys. I think it's called a thin feet, but not is it Maruke. Habatsadi Baluku, give Batsadi Babu Sambana Kulu. The good thing about this case study is that the educators focus on their call of duty, but the parents the monitor learners. So how to submit the SGB and the parent component have enough. My attempt is to say, in my heart, there's an expectation of they need to stand up and be counted. ba ka se ba leka di-educator se ba controller everything ba feletsa ba palelwa ke bana ko dikolong. Di-parents disagree much about this whole issue. So ha ke submita gore education department e thuse batsadi e le ba train SSGB to stand up and help the teachers. Ke dilo tse di tshwanang le tseno tseno. Go Sidibelo, for instance, the school is far from the main road. How SGB is in the monitor the overloading. How it exceeds the overloaded, they are very far from the school. The learners see they are being offloaded in that spot. So by the time they arrive at school, there isn't any monitoring to be done. There was an incident where we, the SGB, the travel authority, the taxi association, the authorized school transporters, the Department of Transport. So the learners transport the issue ya overloading ya addressive. There wasn't proper communication in the SGB's attempt to repeat all stakeholders on board. But one of the things that I believe was the mistake, the Department of Transport needs to have a look at give the AG, the school transporters. In our area, at this specific incident, a 19-year-old was the one driving this vehicle. A previous year, Unazana Sidibelo. So get Chumi about one band. So have a lace the loud music. It's a friends club. Hakidu Melo for the Casa Sotobaraka the way Munatipa. Only ITC in Sida Kalaka takes Yaha. So our entrepreneurs in our township baraka 2-3 vehicles, but it is not proper for a 19-year-old who probably got a license a few months earlier. I feel the responsibility to transport the learners. Give my submission to the commission.
May I interject? May I request our interpreter just to move a bit behind? Please, we want to see the witness as he's testifying. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner. Submission. I started driving at an age of 12. Maybe background that was a bit unfair because go high on several vehicles. That's why I started driving at an age of 12. But I can submit for a few years after I've been driving for some time. How fit to age 18 or 19, you are matured enough. Take a more my submission. I believe something needs to be done. In primary school, so I'm privy to the information. It is the elderly gentlemen, Baba driving scholars, Baba are from their homes to the vehicles. But go high school, high secret the tendency of the very young in never transfer, literally their friends. My submission to the commission is maturity has so fit at a place where 19-year-olds can be entrusted with this responsibility. Give my submission to the commission. Area to the authorized transporters. One moment, I can create the name of this association.
Apps log on. Scholar transports admission. Page 26 section. Page 1 scholar. Page 25 and the speed. Overloading. Page 26 1. Risk. 2 looking. 3. 4. 5 will. 1 Cummings. Risk. 2 Blinko. 3. 4 Seacrest. 5 Willie. 1 Cummings.
I'm looking for the name of the authorized transporters. I'm not gonna get their name right quickly. It's Nap. I think Napto. I'll be happy with that name. But I think on my submission, it is appendix C, the authorized transporters. My submission to the commission is for how the Bella came down. The branding different associations on that Texas. So go na le di-taxi, go na le authorized cola transporters. Ha bana ba na le a branding e ba differentiate gore bone ke bone, ke dumela gore Department of Transport ha e dira monitoring ba ka monitora easier, because dilo tse di diragalang which I believe are not right ke gore di-taxi di tsamaye as taxis be di dire di-load tsa learners transport. I'm saying this to say there's absolutely nothing wrong. Ha taxi e tsamaya ke pick up a learner e mo drop go school. My submission is ha go na le a taxi that is dedicated to ka load in our area by business school. It's both a taxi but in a dedicated load ya the learners e ba transporter both in the evening and in the afternoon. My understanding is gore ga go a tshwanela go gona le ya go le yalo. They do not have the permit ya gore ba ka transporta the scholars yalo. Go na le a specific association e leng gore it needs to be able to stand up a year go di SGB meetings e yo go dira proper and appropriate marketing for easy we batsadi ba entrust this responsibility. Give me la this overloading happen because you are we the parents are not taking our rightful responsibility. Renaya bana chelete gore but decide on the transport to use. This is where the overloading comes in. My submission and my recommendation to the commission is to a smart card is literally a savings card. The parents one. This card is the authorized transporters. So hakuna payment in cash. You change from the learners to the transporter. But authorized transporters they can just walk in but click at that card ya patala. The card is supposed to monitor attendance and many other things. How that pursue this type of a thing, not only for out to the challenges that school transport or unauthorized people but transport but lead the issue of drug usage in school. The parents into this smart card type of a thing. It can be only school transport le go di canteen go dikolo pursuing this type of technology. One of the solutions in our area. The area dia go di fara go ya ka di challenges. How le bella go Gauteng bana ba ka tsusiwa ka bo 4:30 because the parents are pursuing better education. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But in our area, the Department of Education in a responsibility in empower the people in better schools. This is what I mean by that. In our area, consider school it's a far better school. It means the learners have several schools but attend the school. So issue of scholar transport perception there's a better school out there. There is enough schools the learners attend the so na ke submit department go na le dilo tse ka di dirang go fokotsa the movement of scholars in our area district na ke a dumela gore there are enough schools but department is trying to check up their effort in far better schools in this type of an instance. His submission do I have the last include here? Just 1 minute.
Caps lock off. Caps lock off. Caps lock off. Scholar transport presentation. Page 3. The elimination of access to illegal substances.
Smart card eliminate yang illegal substances. Authorized transporters propose branding. There could also be problem branding a young only because they could be targeted. By this, my submission is maybe a financial gain in doing this thing. home ruling in the past, Hanerapo Toropoli, nearly 70 kilometers away. That was in Rustenburg. Kanyako Murugan now has an 80 shop mall. Iraqo Batwaba Yanko Rustenburg, Bafuka probably 80% of them. So there's a need, yet the local taxi association, a battle other means that supplement their income. Maybe this is one of the reasons why Bayako Scholar Transport. In a township like JMC, that can be a problem because being a township, the area need to go to Hadikadala, so there might not be the issues about the Mokozone, they don't want to move. Have another try in our villages via two areas or the local JMC because it's more of a township. There are far higher chances that the monitoring the traffic officials go. So the nonsense here, overloading had to be made for in that situation. But had it go these are into our villages and rural areas where the overloading is handled. In brief, submission you the recommendation the Commissioner? Amen.
Apologies, as Mr. Conde says, for butchering the same.
No problem.
At this point, we're going to take a break because we need to cross over at 11, and we will then return only then with the comma will then begin with the questions and as well as the rest of the team. So at this point, let us just adjourn. It will be for 30 minutes. Let's use the time to have our tea, but also then it is a comfort break. Thank you so much.
Where's it going? No. Yeah,
Dude. And there's so much to be.
Isn't that genuinely
I learned most of it. Yeah, my niche. I do learn the this one is very I'm literally this is I like
Two.
Because this one, this is why this one.